Good morning. It is your daily crypto news. It is Wednesday, January 17, 2024. My name is Matt, and let's get into this daily crypto news. Oh, if you want to email me, it's matt@dailycryptonews.net. They call it the golden cross, and it indicates a positive shift in asset prices. And now this marker has finally appeared on the Bitcoin weekly price chart. See, many traders see this crossover as a forward-looking indicator. In the golden version of this golden cross, because it's the opposite of the death cross, this golden version signals a long-term bull market ahead. Now, seasoned traders, they look at this golden cross crossover as a lagging indicator, and often it coincides with trend exhaustion, meaning that once it happens, this golden cross crossover happens, they go, hey, this has already been happening for a long time. It looks like this is a lagging indicator. Maybe we're going to revert the trend. And that's why the daily chart golden and death crossovers have a mixed record of predicting bullish and bearish trends. And see, Bitcoin's rally already pretty much stalled. It's going sideways. On the launch of the ETF, it went up around 10%. It's 10% lower than it was. 49,000 is where we around topped out at. We thought we were going to the moon, and then we plummeted. We're going to be around, 42.5 today. We're going to see in crypto prices in a little bit. But here's my opinion. There is a lot of pent up either buy and sell pressure. This is going to pop. It's going to go up really fast, or it's going to go down really fast. There's tension very much in the market. And not just talking about traders and buy and sell pressures and tension in the market. There's also an interesting discussion being had on the shifts of influence of the new market players, particularly after the ETF. See, some analysts estimate that Bitcoin's ETF demand could reach around $100 billion, or about an eighth of the Bitcoin market cap, which is about 30% of total market cap if you're not talking about like the dormant supply of Bitcoin. If you're talking about the dormant supply, the Bitcoin that just doesn't move, it's around 17% of the Bitcoin market. And so basically they're saying is like, who's going to influence the devs? Who's going to influence how Bitcoin is developed and maintained in the future? Is it going to be the institutional investors that have 100 billion, maybe even more in the market? And they're going to go to the devs and say, hey, gonna have to make those blocks bigger. Hey, gonna have to introduce this. Or is it gonna be the OG Bitcoin whales, where the OG Bitcoin whales has around 1,500 whales holding over 1,000 Bitcoin and controlling around 40% of the total supply? So who's gonna have the final decision? Is it gonna be the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, or is it gonna be the people who've been maintaining and using and advocating for Bitcoin for the past 15 years? That is an interesting question that I didn't think about. You have any opinions on this? Matt@dailycryptonews.net. The IRS is making some clarifications on their new law that could send Americans to jail for failing to immediately report crypto transactions over $10,000. So the IRS, like I said, clarified that the measure is not currently being enforced and won't be for some time. The question still remains about the law, though, namely, who it implicates. See, the fine print of the measure states that any American who receives over $10,000 worth of crypto in the course of trade or business must report identifying information about who paid them that money. This is the same law that has been long enforced for cash transactions. However, trade or business typically refers to transactions made in the course of one's employment. Paying somebody for doing some coding work in ETH obviously counts. However, flipping some NFTs or day trading some meme coins probably doesn't. And so we need some clarification from the IRS. The long story short is they're not coming after you because you got $10,000 of crypto sent to you and that you didn't know the person's social security number that sent it to you for some time. However, not saying that this law isn't in the books and they can't retroactively start looking at you going like, who sent you that crypto? I was talking to a buddy the other day, and he actually brought up a good point. He's like, you know what lawmakers really need to do is stop just making new laws and actually go read through all the old laws and start just crossing out some of these old laws that are just in the books that don't make any sense anymore, or can be retroactively enforced depending on who does what. I mean, there's still laws in the books in some places that says you can't ride a horse on Sunday or eat lasagna in the bathtub. You know those crazy laws. Like, let's go through the books and make things that are more relevant. While we were sleeping, the Ethereum core developers deployed the Dencun upgrade incorporating proto-danksharding, or EIP 4844, on the Goerli test network. And this is serving as a precursor to the anticipated launch on the mainnet. So the central feature of Dencun is the introduction of EIP 4844, a novel transaction mechanism known as ephemeral blobs or proto-danksharding. This approach allows for the temporary storage and access of off-chain data by Ethereum nodes to reduce storage demands. It's expected to substantially lower transaction costs for Ethereum dApps, especially those benefiting Layer 2 rollup chains. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he is reluctant to prioritize a U.S. IPO due to the SEC's hostile stance towards the crypto industry. He was speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He cited challenges of going public under a regulator that must approve IPOs while being antagonistic towards crypto businesses, and this is exemplified by the SEC's lawsuit against Coinbase after approving their IPO. Ripple is currently involved in a lawsuit with the SEC since 2020, and they're exploring IPO options in other jurisdictions with clearer regulations. See, Ripple, they have cash. They just did a $285 million stock buyback. They also are evaluating the company at around $11 billion, and they say they don't need to raise capital. So, you know what? We're going to take our time and see where we fit in. We're going to get in where we fit in is what they're saying. And Garlinghouse isn't looking at this IPO as an exit, but it is another step on the journey, and they're going to focus on shareholder liquidity. They're trying to say, hey, can we get this publicly traded so shareholders can actually trade and sell and buy more stock? And can the retail public and institutions? That's what they're trying to do. Where is that going to happen? We're going to have to wait and see. The United Nations claims that Tether's USDT is one of the most popular vehicles for illicit financial activity. They said that USDT on Tron 155 blockchain has become a preferable choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers alike. They continue to say that between September 2022 and September 2023, there were transactions totaling more than 17 billion USDT. And these transactions are connected to underground currency exchanges, illegal commodity trades, unlawful collection, and payment processes of various criminal activities. Tether, they replied, obviously, they wrote that the company is disappointed that the UN chose to single out USDT while ignoring its role in helping develop economies in emerging markets. That's kind of a weak reply, Tether. I think you need to get a better reply to this if they're actually accusing you of $17 billion in illegal commodities trades, unlawful collection and payment processes for criminal activities. I don't think coming back and saying, but, we do a lot in developing economies and emerging markets. Maybe come back with something a little better than that. And finally, I like the people who listen to this show. I love you guys. Thank you very much because there's such a diverse background of people, you know, from jobs to education to where you live. And that's why I got this email from a confidential source saying that they have worked for former President Donald Trump. Basically, this is a reply to, is Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, pro or against crypto? Well, this person has been around the White House, has been around Trump and his cabinet, and they say that Trump is covertly against Bitcoin or crypto in general, and has heard people in his inner circle say that they will end Bitcoin. Now, obviously, this is back then. This was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So we don't know if it has changed, considering he is now doing NFTs and selling his Ethereum stash. And if it's people in his inner circle saying this, maybe if his inner circle changes, Donald Trump's inner circle changes, then his opinion will change as well. I don't know, but it is something that we need to get on the record if the next president of the United States is going to be, and obviously, I don't know if you guys don't know, I'm not a pro-Trumper, but if he is the president of the United States, what is he looking at when it comes to Bitcoin? Thank you to this confidential source for writing in and letting me know his thoughts, or at least people in his cabinet's thoughts. Now let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fear agrees at 63. We are really close to neutral territory. We're still a little greedy, but people don't know what the hell is going on with this market. So that's why Bitcoin's sitting at $42,592, down 1.3% in 24, while Ethereum's at $2,545, down 0.6%. Tether's number 3, Binance is at $311, down 1.9%, and Solana is just hovering around the $100 mark. It's at $99.56, up 2.5%. Rounding off the top 10, we have XRP, USDC, Cardano, Avalanche, and Doge. The total market cap is down 0.8% at 1.68. We have a Bitcoin dominance of 49.6 and an ETH dominance of 18.2. And that was our show today, and I'll be back tomorrow. And until then, happy hodling, y'all.